Did you know in Australia, one person every 27 minutes is diagnosed with a blood cancer such as leukemia? In this episode, I'm talking to cancer survivor and dear friend Chase Jaeger. Now, if you've ever enjoyed any of these conversations or you've ever learned anything from these conversations, if you could do me a small favor and hit that little subscribe button, it helps the channel more than you know, and as the channel grows, so does our guests. Thank you and enjoy the episode.
This is crazy to say, but it's maybe one of the best things that's ever happened to me. All the, good or the worst, but like, I just realized like time is of the essence.
Yeah.
It can be taken. So like, there's no time being fake. Yeah. Have time for everyone if they have the time for you.
Welcome back to the Keegan and Company podcast. For those who are new to the show, my name is Keegan Hipgrave. And guys, if you haven't already, could I get you to jump over? Give us a little like and subscribe on whatever platform you listen to this podcast on, whether it's Apple, YouTube, Spotify. It's a great way for us to grow the platform, grow the podcast, and just have some incredible conversations with some incredible crew like I've got on today. In this episode, I'm joined by one of my dearest mates, Chase Jaeger. How are you, brother?
Keegs, mate. The intro, being here. That's good. I love that.
Man, I'm glad we're doing this, bro.
Bro, me too.
We had a beautiful little morning.
Mate, it was so wholesome.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling 10 out of 10. Sauna, swim, on the beach with my bro.
I just want to say you're one of the first people to come into the sauna as well.
Mate, I am honored. It was a blessing.
It's almost, but we were having that chat in there before. It's kind of like, it's like a little truth box, hey? Like,
it is. It's like a little vault.
You just you lock in and then, I don't know, man, I feel like the conversations that we're going to have in there is going to be wild. Because you were saying it because Brimo's got one as well, yeah? You've had a few little saunas in there.
Definitely had some saunas in there.
Yeah. We won't reveal anything that's happened in there.
No, that's up to the imagination.
Yeah, gotcha. But mate, hey, beautiful morning, sauna, into swim, into
So
potty. Good. Yeah, pumped.
Happy to be here, mate.
Bro, I'm
Thanks for having me.
Bro, I'm pumped to have you on. Like, and for those who are listening, like this, we caught up not too long ago. Like we've been having this conversation for a little bit, but we sat down at Milkwell in Palmy and we had a really great conversation. And that was the first time that I actually got to hear the whole story.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know. Obviously I knew you had cancer. I knew that you'd worked through that. But man, it's such an insane story.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
How, mate, to be honest, why did you feel like you wanted, why do you feel comfortable talking about it? Because it's a big topic, yeah?
I guess it's something that, as you just said, you'd never heard the story. People know, and it's not something I talk about, often or anything, obviously, because it's heavy. Yeah. But, I just love what you're doing in the space. And, it's been a while and I've had time to process and see the effects and the benefits and everything that's happened along the way. And I just thought, it could be beneficial for someone to hear this story, or many people, because unfortunately, it's a very common disease in our world. And I just think what better time than now? Because otherwise I'll never get a chance to share the story, I guess, because it's not something, you talk about lightly.
Mate, it's wild. And there's so many little things that I want to dive into. But before we dive into it, I kind of want to know what it was like growing up. You're obviously super keen on skating. Skating's been a huge part of your life. How, talk to me about growing up. What did it look like for you growing up?
Dude, I was actually soccer fanatic.
Really, bro?
Soccer fanatic.
Yeah.
Whole family is NRL soccer, and I played a bit of rep soccer when I was at Grom in Sydney, and then, bro, funny enough, we went to the snow. First time seeing snow.
Yeah.
And I absolutely sucked at skiing.
Yeah.
And I found a skateboard in the garage, and mate, after that, I was full steam ahead.
Started skating on a snow trip.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Yeah. So backwards. Quit soccer, and there was an indoor skate park called Vertex at Padstow in Bankstown where I grew up.
Yeah.
And bro, we just had the maddest crew.
Yeah.
So rain, hail or shine, the skate park was always there. So yeah, and dude, it was just full steam ahead after that. Just skate.
When you're younger, is it because I know with footy, you always think I want to be a professional footy player.
For sure.
Did you think you wanted to be a professional skater?
Oh, dude, yeah. I was watching Ryan Sheckler and all the skaters.
Life of Ryan?
Yeah. Right.
Was that going to be you, man? Life of Chase?
Yeah. I was obsessed with him when I was a kid. That's pretty funny. That's embarrassing. But he's the man. Yeah. But wanted to be him. And obviously, I wanted to be a professional skateboarder when I was young. But then, I always wanted to do it. But I knew it's pretty tough industry to get into, and then obviously a bunch of health complications. But that's all I wanted to do when I was a grom for sure.
Yeah.
I wanted to be that guy.
But you got involved, like you were involved with a bunch of different brands, like growing up as well, yeah?
Yeah. Grew up skating, and then I got sponsored pretty young from a few brands, which was cool. And then kind of when I turned like 18, I got on a toy machine for Australia, which was sick, which was like, when I was a kid, that's like a dream sponsor.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, I was frothing on that. And then I got on DC and I was on them for like 6 years, and we had sick crew, did a bunch of trips, and dude, it was sick. But I got on DC after I was sick, actually. So
Gotcha.
when I got sick, I wasn't skating as much, obviously. But then after being sick, I was like, okay, I want to give this a crack and get back into skating, because it just brought me so much joy and so many friends, and like just brought me the life I have, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, like, is that the dream for most crew? Because like, is it like trips, like doing trips with crew?
Yes.
Like feel like filming, doco, like that's kind of what that's the play.
Yeah. So you got like two types of skaters. You got comps, like street league and all that. I was never really like big into comps and stuff, but skating's more just like going out in the streets with your friends, filming and getting photos, it's just like marketing yourself pretty much. It's a business, like anything. And like, so you just kind of, that's what the sick part is, getting in the van with your friends, going filming, going to different cities and stuff like that. But yeah, everything's kind of based in LA. Like you kind of need to move to LA.
Why LA?
I don't know, just because it's sunny 365 days a year and every company's out of there. But I don't know, sorry to anyone from LA, but I don't really like it there that much. I'd rather go live in New York or something.
Have you spent much time over there?
In LA, I went for a little bit, but I didn't really like it, hey. And then I did a big trip to the States, and I liked the East Coast a bit more, hey.
I'm going to head over to LA in August.
Sick.
August, September.
I mean, it's still a great place.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to skate every day there.
Is it just like big cities? That's the play?
I guess.
Skating, like street skating? Like, is that what you're into, street skating?
Yeah, definitely cities, because it's just like it's like a skate park, pretty much. There's just so much stuff to skate in the cities, and you can just, catch a train and skate around all day. You don't need to be in cars. That's why Gold Coast is a bit hard to skate, because you're in the car for like hours to spots, and like even Brizzy's not the best, but Sydney and Melbourne are now popping off, and you can probably make a pretty good career in skating just by staying in Australia, but you obviously have to do trips overseas.
So is most Australian skaters their plays, so like the goal is to get overseas?
Yeah, so I've got one of my best friends who I got with, Jake. He has been living in LA for, I want to say 10 years now.
Far out, man.
Yeah, and another friend, Shima, but he is actually living back in Sydney now, and he's getting it done from Sydney.
Sick.
He's kind of paid his dues.
Yeah, fair enough. Bro, I want to get into this story, man.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of verticals and there's a lot of places to start, but where do you think is a fitting place to start? Like where do you think it all sort of started for you?
I think like it stemmed from I thought like I had a severe case of anxiety.
Yeah.
Like you're 19, 20, like you're partying, I guess. That's like the age where you're, coming into your own, and you're obviously out with mates all the time. And I just started like feeling really average for like a while, and like my brain wasn't really working how it used to, and like I was just thinking like really weird thoughts, and like always thinking something's wrong, and like freaking out and having like mass panic attacks, and heart rate like always high. Like my resting heart rate was like 110.
I remember you saying this.
Yeah.
You say you like it would be like you'd wake up and it'd be like 110, 120.
Yeah.
But you thought that was like normal.
Well, I didn't think it was normal. That's when the freak out started, because my heart rate was so high. And my mum has a gnarly heart condition.
Yeah.
So I thought like, damn, this is happening to me. Like it's hereditary. There's a good chance. And who wakes up with 110?
Yeah.
Resting. Yeah. And then like I would try to skate, and I couldn't breathe. Heart rate would obviously be higher.
I was going to say, like, when you were skating, does that go to like 180, 200? Because you're always like, you're working out. Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of stopped skating because I couldn't breathe, and then it would bring on like panic attacks. So I kind of just tried to chill out and just see like if I had a break from everything, if I would stop feeling run down. Took like 2 weeks off work.
Yeah.
I was doing a chefing apprenticeship at the time.
Yeah.
And it was obviously stressful because you're in the kitchen. But took 2 weeks off work and didn't get any better. And then the big thing was like when I was reading the docket, I was like getting double vision.
Yeah.
And I was like, I must be so stressed out of my mind or something. But I kind of like kept telling everyone I think there's something wrong. But then every symptom I would tell everyone is like, obviously, if you Google anxiety, It's just
That's the
symptom,
symptoms.
you
Yeah,
know?
gotcha.
So, but then went to the doctors pretty early days and did some blood tests, and they were like, there's nothing like jumping out.
Mm.
And then I was like, okay. And then I kind of blew it and was meant to go back for some checkups, but I was like, I'm feeling a bit better. And then
Gotcha.
kind of plummeted. And it's funny, I was actually at the gym doing some lateral raises.
Yeah.
And my mate was like, bro, what is that? And I just had like, probably in between a golf ball and tennis ball, like extra, it was like an extra trap here. And I just had the biggest tumor there.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know it was there.
So you were doing the raises, you were in the
Yeah.
gym. And then so what do you think about it? Did your mate's like, mate, what's on your neck?
I was like, whoa, have I like hurt myself or something? Or like, I kind of freaked out, called my mom, left gym, went home, felt like a bag of almonds, like I don't know. It was so weird, so surreal to look back on. And then she was like, let's go straight to the GP. And my GP was like, she was pretty gnarly. Like I was so scared of her.
She's pretty straight.
I was like scared of her.
Yeah, man.
But went in there and she was just straight up like, she was like, Chase, you're probably going to get told you have cancer in the next week. And I was like, I was at the gym like an hour ago. And then I was like, what are the chances of this? And bro, this was crazy. She was like, you really want the stats? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, there's 40% chance that this is cancer. I was like, okay. And then she's like, there's 40% chance this could be HIV if you've contracted it. And then she's like, there's 10% it's a really bad like lymph node infection. And I was just like, they're my options I've got right now.
Yeah.
So naturally I was like, I hope it's cancer because like HIV is like obviously super serious. So is cancer, but like, you know, there's
uncurable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
wait, what do you like? Obviously huge to hear, right?
Yeah.
Like you with your mum? Mum's in the room?
Yeah, mum was in the room and it was kind of at that stage where like nothing was solidified. So it's like the unknown. So you don't really process anything.
Yeah.
Because you're like, okay, I was just like, okay, what's next?
What's next?
Let's go.
Gotcha.
Because obviously you don't want to mess around with that. So I had to go get a biopsy, did the biopsy over like a week, just John Flynn, bang, in and out. And then yeah, we went to this specialist and obviously it's his job, but it was the most casual interaction I've ever had. He was just like, so we sat down. He's like, so results are back. It's positive for cancer and you'll go see this specialist next week. And I was just like, cool, next week. Like,
can I process this
and
for a second?
I was like, whoa, but obviously it's his job and he has to tell people this all the time. But my mum kind of broke down. And then when I seen her crying, my mum's pretty tough, like been through some stuff. Like she grew up one of 15, like massive family.
Really?
And like, yeah,
far out.
crazy.
Yeah, okay.
So like she's tough as, and when I seen her kind of break down, I was like, okay, this is gnarly.
This is legit.
Yeah. And then see the specialist, start a treatment plan. So I think I started chemo in a month because you got to go through the diagnostics and staging. So you have to get so many tests, man. Like PET scan, which is like where you get all the dye. You have to sit in a room for like an hour, try to get your heart rate down. Obviously, my heart rate is through the roof because I was so sick.
And that's in like is it kind of like an MRI machine?
Yeah, it's kind of like MRI, and you get the dye, and then you have to wait, but your heart rate has to be low. But then PET scan was on like the whole body, and it's like breath work in there, and it was just like, obviously because I'm so sick, and like you're laying in there, I'm getting like dizzy and like not vertigo, but like dizzy spells in there. And then, dude, the most hectic one was the bone marrow. So they have to check
run me through that.
So if you get any type of cancer or if it's in your blood, you have to get your bone marrow checked, especially for leukemia, because if it's in your bone marrow, you're pretty far down the track and it's pretty hard to come back from.
So does it start like, I'm guessing to start like in your blood, like in your cells, so and then it can move into your bone?
Yeah, so I guess the white blood cells just overtake everything with any type of leukemia. And then, so I had Hodgkin's lymphoma. Yeah. And that obviously affects your lymph nodes. So neck, armpit, chest, groin, some in your stomach, I guess. But the bone marrow, man, they sedate you. Yeah. And I don't really remember, but I remember after it, but my mum said she could like hear me screaming. So they're like, I remember seeing the needle, man. It was like this big. Long. And they just, sorry.
You're right. So it's like a ruler length long.
It's like a ruler and they're like driving it into your back, like into your spine where your bone marrow is.
Far out.
And,
But you don't remember any of it.
I don't remember it, but I remember being sedated. I remember feeling like pinned down because obviously you're going to want to move because you're not like asleep. But my mum said she heard like me screaming and it sounded horrible. And I was like, wow.
Have you spoken to your mum afterwards? Like obviously after the fact, like.
Yeah, we've definitely like had chats. It's just kind of like more like through the stages I get through at life. Like when I get to a stage where like, you know, processing it each time, it's kind of like I go to her and be like, we'll talk about it and she'll reassure me that I'm okay, you know, and I've been through a lot and it's normal for me to feel like this. And she's really good because she's been through a very hectic heart condition herself. She used to do like Ironmans and stuff, but then she's pretty on the sidelines now. But
you said at the start that you were having the test, you're having all the dizzy spells, and then 8 months later, that's when it popped up.
Yeah.
When you got diagnosed, you said you got diagnosed at stage 2.
Yeah, so I had the tumor in my neck here, the big one.
Yeah.
And then the reason I couldn't breathe is because I had a tumor pushing on my lungs in my chest. So that's the one I couldn't really see or feel.
Is that why your heart rate was so high?
Yeah, because it's close, but obviously it's in your blood and your blood's going through your heart. And like, I was just so cooked, man, without even realizing. Like, I think back and it's like, yeah, like that definitely wasn't anxiety.
Yeah.
But like just so fatigued, man. Like everything achy. Waking up in the middle. This was the dead giveaway that I should have realized, man. Like I would wake up in the middle of the night, drenched in sweat, freezing. And it's like not winter or anything. And I would just be like, whoa, what, like night sweats like crazy.
Yeah.
And like vertigo, double vision. Like I'd be super hungry.
Yeah.
I'd have like 2 bites and feel like I'm going to spew. And then I was like, I thought like my appetite was just done because I was so anxious about everything. But realistically inside it was like turmoil.
Fuck, man, that's so interesting to hear. Like, and then if they found it 8 months earlier, is there like what's the difference?
Yeah, I don't know if like there would have been a difference. Like maybe it's a hard one though because it's in your blood. So I don't know whether they found it early if I would have just done like I don't know the technical terms of it all, but I probably would have still had to get a little bit of chemo to get it out of your blood because chemo essentially kills everything. Yeah. And then, you know, and then you start again. Mate, like that's what the craziest part of like about it is life after it. Yeah. Everything's your first again.
Well, and that's something that I really want to dive into.
Yeah.
But before we go there, tell me about the chemo. Tell me what it looks like day to day.
I wouldn't wish it on anyone.
Really?
Like being sick was crazy, but chemo is like a whole nother level. Like,
give me an example.
So you go in. So I got all the staging done and then started chemo. You go in. There's different types of chemo for different types of cancer. My one was every 2 weeks, so I can't get it weekly because it's like brutal. Yeah. So you go in. You're in like the chemo day ward, and like, dude, everyone there is like 80s.
You're the youngest.
I'm the youngest, so like everyone's like sad and like I'm like. But my mum bought me sorry, I don't know if you can swear, but she bought me a fuck cancer shirt. And,
mate, you can swear as much as you like, just by the way.
Yeah, she bought me a fuck cancer shirt and I wore it to every chemo and she got one too, my dad, and we would just wear it. And kind of like when we were going to the chemo ward, the oldies would be like, I like your shirt. Yeah. So it was kind of cool. And like go in and like, dude, just get everything linked up at like 9 a.m. You get chemo till 4. And when you first get chemo, they keep you in overnight just in case anything happens. Yeah. And lucky I did. Yeah. Because my first round of chemo, remember how we're talking about the heart rate stuff? Yeah. I was sitting upstairs after. So chemo was like 8 hours, 3 separate bags. Yeah. And they're just liquid.
Liquid in your arm.
In there, but so your veins and stuff don't collapse. You can get a catheter in your chest or a PICC line. Yeah. And I got a PICC line in my arm. And I remember when they put it in, because it goes all the way to your heart. I remember when they put it in, I felt like my heart do some weird stuff. And they're like, yeah, that's normal. And I was like, okay. Yeah. And then when I was getting chemo throughout the day, like I just remember my heart pounding and I was like, okay, I'm getting poison. Obviously it's pounding. And then upstairs getting monitored, bro. And I was just like, whoa. And my friends were in the room.
Yeah, all your friends and family came to see
for the
afterwards.
chemo. Yeah. And then, but in the room that night, it was like 8 o'clock at night and a couple of my mates were there just seeing me until I like went to bed. And I was just like, whoa. And they're like, are you right? I was like, my heart is like through the roof. Bang, like called the nurse. She came in, put me on the monitor, bro. And I just looked and my heart rate was 240 beats. And I was just like freaking. I like fully thought I was having a heart attack.
Yeah.
And then she freaked, and I was like, great. Now the nurse is freaking out.
Yeah.
So
man.
it went higher. It went up to like 250. And I was
I
like,
didn't even know a heart rate could go that high.
I was like, I was seriously sitting there like full out of body experience going, this is it.
You thought that was going to be
I was
it.
like, obviously it's got to stop at some point.
Yeah.
But next minute, like friends all rushed out. It's like 8 people in the room, and this guy, this specialist just comes in, gets my cannula, liquid, like I guess it's like a liquid Valium to calm me down.
Yeah.
And calm me down. I kind of got into like a sedated
Did he say anything to you?
He was like, this is going to feel super weird. Like he's kind of like, he's like, you obviously don't know. This is like maybe what a heroin dose would feel like.
Wow.
And I was like, great analogy.
Yeah. It's
awesome.
It's a gateway.
Yeah. And then kind of got dazed for like, obviously like half an hour. Woke up down in ICU, and I was like, what happened? And they were like, you had a supraventricular tachycardia attack. And I was like, did I have a heart attack? And they were like, no, this is like a very common arrhythmia in young, fit people. Like I've read stories of a bunch of AFL players and stuff having it.
Yeah.
Super common. So when my heart rate was high all them times, I was sick, but I was obviously having SVT on top of it, maybe.
Yeah.
But then they figured out like the next day, I was like rolling over, and every time I'd move a certain way, it would kickstart it again. And then it went off again the next day. Yeah. And they called my mum's cardiologist in, and I was like in ICU, and he was just like, I'm just going to give you this. It's going to feel like it's going to stop your heart essentially for like 1 second. It's called adenosine, I think.
Okay. So you were sitting, so you said, oh my God, let's just rewind for a second. Sorry. Because let's not brush over that. Because I feel like that would be a huge thing to hear, yeah?
Yeah, so I didn't really know what to expect. He's like, it's going to feel like an elephant sits on you. And I was like, so many good analogies.
These analogies,
And I was like, am I going to die? He's like, technically your heart will stop for like one split of a second. Yeah. And my heart rate was like 195. So it wasn't as bad as the night before. Yeah. But he like gave it to me, and I like seized up and then felt super weird. And then because I was chemo and the heart was going, they didn't want to stress my body. So they put me to sleep in like an induced thing for like a day or two to let it all calm.
Kind of like an induced coma.
Yeah, pretty much. And I don't really remember it, but a few mates said they came to see me, and I was just like parked on the bed asleep. And they said it was pretty intense to see your friend like that. That's one where I really don't remember that, obviously, because I was asleep, but I don't remember that whole process. Yeah. But that one kind of traumatized my dad a fair bit, because he's pretty like happy-go-lucky, but he said that was one of the hecticest things he's had to go through. Really? Because obviously mum had to work at the time through it, but dad was retired, so he was looking after me.
So he was in the thick, he was in the weeds. So.
Yeah, he was with me every day. It was cool. But yeah, and then they figured out that my PICC line was actually 6 centimeters too far into my atrium. Yeah. So it was setting off all the SVT attacks. So essentially got chemo straight into my heart, which was awesome.
Obviously not intended.
No, not intended, and like easy mistakes. Like I don't think it's like a big mistake they make, but not throwing the medical system under the bus. But yeah, so they had to pull that out to stop that, and then had to go on like a medication to stop the heart rhythm going, but then that medication would interfere with the steroid one that I get to make me not vomit during chemo. So trying to shuffle all the meds to balance it out, and then had to stay in hospital for like until the next chemo pretty much. Yeah. So I had like 1 day out, and then I had to get chemo again, and then after that it was like a 2-week routine.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So the first chemo was pretty tough. Adventurous.
But that's obviously that would be an extreme end of chemo, yeah? Like I imagine not many people would have the heart problems along with the chemo.
No. I mean, down the track, chemo can cause cardiac issues. Yeah. But not the first one right there. Yeah. So I was getting chemo on the cardiac ward. So I was all over the hospital.
It's like different specialists coming in. Like you said, the cardiologist came in. Like it's just like what do we do? Like how do we know what's right?
Yeah, exactly. Wrong? So my oncologist and my cardiologist had to become real good friends, and I was quite a rare case for them. And crazy stat actually, because it started chemo the same time as Nate Myles' wife Tessa. Actually. So I did chemo with her and got super close with them during it.
So cool. Nate's one of the I've just spilled water all over the bench. That's great. That's right. Just leave that. That's okay.
Yeah,
Nate's Myles, best family.
Best people. It was really cool to have someone, and Tessa actually started before me.
Yeah.
So she was someone I leaned on to talk to about what to expect all the time and stuff.
What did she say?
I would just get coffee with her and Nate, and they would give me advice on like how sick she feels, what to eat, and she was the one who actually told me to cut out all sugar and just go so healthy, man.
Really?
And it made such a difference because like I ate bacon one morning, dude. I haven't had a piece of bacon since that morning.
Gotcha.
And like I ate meat and everything, but I felt so sick after.
What changes? Just your body?
Yeah, just I feel like cancer feeds on sugar,
Yeah.
and health is priority. So I just like cut out everything. Like I still haven't had a soft drink till this day.
I remember you saying this
Yeah,
because like even like when we caught up, like you were talking about, it's like you live like a super healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
In terms of like training, nutrition.
Yeah.
And that's come off the back of
Yeah.
chemo,
I was pretty unhealthy before. Not unhealthy, but just like your standard oblivious, like, oh, brekkie, sweet, bacon, egg roll, long black.
Yeah.
Drink on the weekends, Friday, Saturday. If there's a Sunday sesh, cool, let's do it. Like I'm 20, I'm invincible.
Yeah.
And just like, you know, like, what do you mean? There's nothing wrong with this bacon egg roll. It's healthy as. It's got nutrients. Like just dumb and young, man.
Yeah.
But obviously now I've learned so much about the body and what works for me. And there's obviously massive repercussions from what chemo does to your body. So like massive stomach issues. So gut health is bad, but got IBS and stuff and reflux. But actually only just starting to get on top of that now because gut health's huge in our lives now. And for the start after chemo, I was just like, everything will start to set back in, and it kind of didn't. So got really into the health side.
I was going to say, what's the biggest challenges post chemo? Like what do you finding the biggest challenges are now, a couple of years later?
Definitely just, as we said, like everything is your first time.
Yeah.
Like, oh, cool. Do you want to go to Sydney and see family? Yeah. For essentially first time getting on a plane again. Cause like, what if my heart does something weird on the plane? What if like I get dizzy on the plane, or like, oh, I'm going to go overseas. It's my first time going overseas again. Everything's like your first. Like, as I said, like when we went to get coffee, I can't drink coffee because after chemo, I had a coffee and it like heart rate went up. Yeah. And my heart's fine now. Like I had to get a cardiac ablation after chemo to stop that rhythm now, and it's all good. But like can't drink coffee because obviously chemo kills everything. Yeah. So my doctor was like, it's essentially like a newborn having a coffee. Like my brain just doesn't know how to process the coffee.
Gotcha.
So like first time having a beer, was so maggot off 2 beers.
Really?
Yeah. So
were you mate? Were you with your mates? What was the first beer?
I went to Greenmount Surf Club with all my friends and family, and I had like 3 schooners, and I was like, I'm pissed. But like we had like a night till like midnight, didn't send it or that, and didn't have any like sugary drinks, just had some beers, and I was like, woke up the next day and like, it's like, okay. So like everything was just like trial test again to see how it'd be. Like, as I told you the other day, like I started running last year. Yeah. First time I've been running since chemo, because I don't have a heart arrhythmia anymore, but I get extra palpitations and stuff from it. Yeah. And that all ties into the stomach issues. So like running, anything to do with heart rate, I'd be scared. Yeah. But skating, obviously you're so focused on skating, I wouldn't notice my heart rate. Yeah. But that's when skating kind of got tough, because like I'd be like trying to jump down a set of stairs or like skate a big rail. And obviously you're already nervous. And then you got heart palpitations going on. And I was like, I can't focus. I'm just going to get hurt. Yeah. And that ended up happening a fair bit. And that's when I was like, I'm just going to cruise and skate for fun. And like, not that I was like trying anymore, but after chemo, I was like, I want to see how far I can take this. But then obviously body has so many limitations, and it's cool. That's why I started playing golf.
That's 100%. Now you're killing it. But I imagine that would be such a tough thing where it's just like you want to be so dialed in into like whatever, because we've had this conversation before about you love sports that like you love accuracy. So think golf, think skating. Yeah, exactly. But how hard was that when you're like, man, I just want to like I want to do this trick, but I can't concentrate. Is that hard?
Yeah. Well, and that ties into everything. Like there's times where I think like, I just want to have a clear head. Like, even till this, it's even today, man. Like, say today you were like, let's go for a beer after this. Yeah. I have to make sure like I'm all good. Like, if my stomach's playing up and stuff, man, and I go out and have a night, the stomach would be so bad, and then the stomach causes all palpitations, and then obviously there's a mountain of anxiety on top of that. So I kind of have to prep for stuff. Not prep, but like.
But this is a thing that like I would have no idea about.
Yeah.
Because we've had beers before.
Exactly.
We've had many beers before.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So I was just like, this is something that I wouldn't even imagine.
Yeah.
And I imagine like a lot of our mates, I don't think they would probably know either.
And I don't talk about it often. And like, there is a lot that goes into like just day to day, like, you know, wake up and make sure my heart rate's all good.
Yeah.
But this is also like an obsessive disorder I've accumulated from a life of constant worry of your health.
Yeah.
I wouldn't wish health anxiety on anyone, because there's nothing scarier than having distrust in your own body. And like when you're standing there, I don't know, like my girlfriend faints. Jazz faints all the time. What? And she faints.
What
and
from?
Like, don't know. Yeah. But like, dude, if that was me and I fainted, I would be freaking out for days.
Yeah.
I'd be like, Google, like, do I have a brain tumor? Like, what's wrong with me? But
I don't know if that's the healthiest thing to go
exactly.
Google.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's the circuit breaker I don't do now.
Yeah.
Because I've worked out how my body reacts and stuff. But like, say I did start fainting, my brain is hardwired to think the worst.
Yeah.
And like, as I was saying, when you get dizzy and vertigo and something's wrong inside you that you can't see or control, like the heart, it's terrifying, man.
Yeah.
But like, obviously, as you said, we have beers and I live a very happy, good life now. You would not know that this happened to me.
You have no idea.
But like, there is like as I've said to you when we've got coffee, there's days where this feels like a lifetime ago, and there's days where it feels like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's just taking the good with the bad, like anything. And like, as you said with the skating, like you want to concentrate. It's like, the only analogy I could put is like, imagine you're in the middle of a game and your heart starts beating out of rhythm, and you've got to make a tackle or something, or you've got the ball and you've got to run, but you're like, how do I concentrate when this is happening?
Yeah.
So that was the big thing with skating. I think I kind of made mistakes by being on trips or like being out filming with people, and then I get real anxious and like not talk because I'm trying to like calm my breathing and stuff. And I should have just told him like, hey, sorry, my heart's doing some weird stuff. Got to go over here for a minute. But like, I'm sure everyone would have understood.
Yeah.
I think the biggest lesson I've learned is talking about it is fine.
Yeah.
And that's why I think me and you talking about it like this is great, because I did an interview in like Slam, the Australian Skate Mag, and it was like heavily straight after.
Yeah.
But now I've had time to like process everything. So it's like such a better outlook on the whole story.
Yeah. But that's the biggest thing that I see from you. Like I see like you've got not only so much love for your mates, like I'll be like you're always like reposting what the boys are doing, like you're always backing them, you're always talking like so highly about the boys.
do love our mates.
We're
blessed.
Very fortunate. We're very fortunate. But it's just like you're just so authentic in the fact of just like being open about talk. Like every time like we catch up, it's like I don't feel like I don't know how to say it. Like nothing's fake. It's all genuine. It's all authentic, and you genuinely care, and you're more than happy to talk about what's going on.
For sure.
Is that learnt from the experience?
I think definitely I was quick to kick that stigma of don't talk about it. Like definitely talk about it. Talk about everything and like being open. Like I used to be really bad about talking about stuff, and especially about this. Like, and now like I've had like people in the past like reach out to talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just like when I was freshly going through it, I was like, nah, I can't really, like, sorry, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And then like my auntie got cancer, and I just would FaceTime her and just chat for hours about everything. Different type of cancer, but like I would just like chat so much with her about it. And just like, it was nice to give her some comfort and talk to her about it. Or like, and now like if anyone reaches out, like 100%, like
it's kind of like what Tess did to you.
Yeah, exactly. And she helped me so much. And it's like, even little things, man. Like when I got sick, my friend Indy has diabetes, and he would just be like, I'm here if you need. Yeah. And it's like not a same thing, but it's a similar, you know, your life gets changed drastically.
Yeah.
And like, this is crazy to say, but it's maybe one of the best things that's ever happened to me. All the, you know, good or the worst. But like, I've just realized like time is of the essence.
Yeah.
It can be taken. So like, there's no time being fake.
Yeah.
Have time for everyone if they have the time for you, you know?
It's pretty obvious to say, but it's almost just like it's giving you perspective, on like what's really important.
massive perspective, man. It's like, I feel like perspective's huge, and like, not any cheesy quotes of that, but you can see something as like a prison or a passport, and it's like, which route do you want to take?
Yeah.
As we said in them questions at the start, like, get moving. You're not
Yeah.
going to get anywhere by being still.
Yeah.
And it has given me such a better outlook on life. Like, so appreciative of stuff like the mates. Like, so appreciative to have good friends and like obviously support them, and friends that support us and the positions we're in and the mates we have. And like, yeah, as you said,
super fortunate.
Yeah.
But even like, and I think guys and girls who have been through really gnarly events, like I don't know, they see things a bit differently. Like
you do for sure.
Before doing the podcast, when we were soaring beforehand, like we're talking about Brimo.
Yeah.
One of the greatest guys, like one of our really close friends.
Yeah.
It's been through some pretty wild stuff. Like we did a podcast with Brimo and he was so great and being so open and vulnerable about everything that's happened in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Lost, a few mates, and it's heavy stuff.
For sure.
But then when you talk to him about something so silly, like losing a game of footy, it's like, what's fucking important? Like, that's not like, of course he cares.
Yeah, for sure.
As all the footy boys, all of our mates care. But it's like, what's a priority? Like my priority is my friends and family and where I live. Like it's just, that's it.
He definitely has one of the best mindsets for that. Like, it was so cool to see him on the pod and open up because he definitely has been through so much, and like, he has such a good mindset towards life. Like he's just, you're happy, I'm happy.
Yeah.
He's the best like that.
Yeah. And even you now, like talking about like fishing and hunting, and like I might go live over in Queenstown. I was like,
I want to.
Man, that's what I mean.
I got to do it, man.
It's so cool. It's like that. It seems like you've got a really cool balance at the moment. It's kind of something that I like want to talk about, because I get stuck in this thing of like, I feel like, you've got to study, you've got to work, I've got to do a podcast. Like, and these are all things that I love to do. But it's just like, how do you get that balance of like, I want to just do a trip to Queenstown. I want to just spend the day hanging out with my mates. Like, do you think about the balance at all? Because it seems like you've got it sorted.
Yeah, like Mitch White, our good friend.
Yeah, one of the greats.
Always like gives me shit. He's like, or about my golf, like on Instagram or something. He'd be like, "Do you not work?" I'm like, "Bro, time management. Like, work. As soon as work's done, I wake up at 6, go to the gym, so it's done, and then if I have a late arvo for work, I'll go to the range at like 7 a.m, bro. Yeah. I'll go to gym early, and I'll go to the range early, or go play like some holes really early. Start work at 9, and then always I just make time for everything. Like, one of my biggest pet peeves is someone's like, "Oh yeah, like I want to get into something," and it's like they don't have time. It's like, man, if I don't get exercise in throughout the day, I'll go at like 9 o'clock at night to the gym or go for a run.
Really?
I have to get it in.
Have to do some sort of work.
It's just so good for my brain after everything I've been through, because like there'll be days where like I'm anxious and I'm like, oh, I feel like, I feel off, I feel fatigued. And then it's like, nah, let's go for a run. Let's be uncomfortable for a bit. Because obviously I don't like my heart rate being high anymore. Yeah. So I'll go for like 5K and I'll come home and be like, I'm normal. I'm sweet. I'm all good.
And obviously, like mental health podcasts, like physical activity, it's such a huge contributor to your mental health. Bro. Like, and I don't know, there's so many things about like, what supplement can I take? What can I do? Like all these little 1%ers. I was like, man, if you like exercise and eat cleanly, it is wild. Like what kind of, like how clear and like how like much it can affect your happiness. Yeah.
So, bro, so crazy. Like, obviously I got mad stomach issues, and if I go like have a greasy feed, which I do love, still indulge, but like I get like bad brain fog now, and I never thought anything about it, but I do notice it eating super clean, and like you get foggy from like bad foods. But like still love a greasy burger.
Not to say that we're not gonna have a little croissant and a greasy burger.
Mate,
like,
exactly.
Mate, indulge when you want. I'm doing this thing with Aaron Booth and Todd Carney. It's kind of like a Boothie, one of the great men as well. Like
greatest.
Very, very fortunate again. But it's just like it was kind of like, it's just like a little challenge. Like I love challenges at the moment. Like and it's like a month. You do like a 3-day fast into like just like purely whole organic food. So like fruit, veg, and then like organic meats. Like seafood. Go to Tasman's down the road, get some great fish. So it's like, and that's all I've been doing. And like I'll still have a craving like to have like some little chips or something here and there. Bro. But bro, feel fucking great.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like
bro.
just training, sauna now at the place, like we can
Yeah.
sauna, train, like eat well. And I'm like, my energy just feels like consistent throughout the day.
Yeah,
And
bro.
I'm not just saying that because a
Nah.
lot of people say that.
For real, like the other day, we were going to play 18, and then I was like, we're going down to Moolumba. I train in the morning,
Yeah.
and usually I train and then I'll have like a smoothie and then have lunch later.
Yeah.
I was like, we're going to play golf. So I had like 500 grams of mint, whole avo,
Yeah.
eggs, and bro, we teed off at like 11, play golf till like 6, I guess, because we snuck in a few extra holes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I met Jazz at 8:30 for dinner, and I was sweet.
Still rolling.
Still sweet. You know, they don't lie when they say when you turn 30, you either get into like fishing, golf, or meats. Bro, I've been just golfing and cooking.
Yeah.
It's so heavy. I never thought I'd be that guy.
You like your cooking?
Well, I was a chef for 12 years.
Of course.
I did my chef apprenticeship, and then obviously Alfred's.
Yeah.
Where I worked the kitchen there for 7 years.
Yeah.
Me and Eddie smashing out the burritos.
Yeah. Can we bring them back, please?
Bro, we'll do a pop-up.
Can we do a little pop-up?
We did one not long ago.
Yeah.
Ask Eddie. He's the man. He'll do it for you.
Okay.
He's good like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm now that I'm not cooking, dude, I love it.
I was gonna say, like, when this is exactly, we were talking about this today, like when you're in your profession, right? Like something that you love to do, but when it becomes a profession, it's like becomes a job.
Yeah, how do you keep your love for it?
How do you keep your love for it? Did you find, like, 'cause you obviously would have loved cooking before being a chef?
For sure. Like, it's a hard one because, like, I love the rush of cooking. It's literally like pressure, time management, and problem solving all in one job because, like,
throw a bit of creativity in
exactly,
there
because you got to make everything and it's got to go out on a certain time. But, like, I tell everyone this, the biggest tip I ever got from cooking is timing is everything.
Yeah.
So, like, if you know how everything's going to work in the kitchen, the timing of it, you'll be able to make something.
Yeah.
And I cook all the time now. No offense, Jasmine. She's not good at cooking.
We love Jazz, but
she's my little sous chef.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
dishy. She's great.
Okay.
But I cook every night, man, and it's been so nice. Like, we made some short ribs the other night, and like it's nice to have time to do that because when you would cook all day,
yeah,
I don't want to come home and cook.
Yeah.
But I would, but it'd be like, bro, I'd be like shortcut Chef King. Hey, like,
yeah.
I would just buy deli chicken, the microwave rice, and an avo, and that's it.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
like, whatever.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, you know, I work from home now, so it's sick and remotely. So I can put a brisket in the oven for 8 hours and it's 10 out of 10, bro.
So good, man.
It's good,
But you
bro.
gotta have time. Like,
Yeah.
like one of ex-girlfriend of mine, her dad was a chef for like forever. And so
Yeah.
I learned a heap from him.
Yeah.
And so fun. Like in the afternoon, like even through COVID, like COVID was a pretty wild time.
Crazy.
But I mean, for like when we were there, it was like pretty
Yeah.
much train in the morning, maybe get some sun, have a little sauna throughout the day, and then all the other,
Yeah.
you're just cooking.
Bro, that's like how many Instagram famous influencers popped off during COVID for just cooking at home.
100%, man.
And it's sick to get recipes off that stuff. It's so creative.
Would you ever have like a food page?
Nah, I don't think I get
It's
that
not
into
the play. It's not
No,
the
I don't
play.
know.
You just do it for fun.
Yeah, I just love it. And like, I don't think I'm like, maybe like there's a dude I follow from Adelaide. It's maybe Dan Superford or something, but his sandwiches are off their head.
Really, yeah.
Yeah. And I always spoke to Eddie about doing sangers because he's a big sandwich advocate.
Yeah.
So maybe in the future, one day when we're all set up, we can do a sandwich parlor.
Mate, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that. Mate.
But no, definitely no Instagram cooking. Too much golf.
Is that where all your time's going at the moment? Because like I want to say you've got a very obsessive personality. Yeah? Is that pretty fair to say?
Yeah, like 120% obsessive. It's so bad.
Yeah.
Like, I can't get into TV shows because like I have to pick the right one because, dude, like when Stranger Things comes out, I will sit. Me and Jazz watched it till 3 a.m. when it came out. Like, I'll sit up all night.
It's dangerous, man.
It's bad. Like, I'm so obsessive.
But is that why you're so dialed into like golf, skating? Like that's why like all the accuracy sports.
Yeah.
So you were even saying before the pod, you're like used to do like goal kicking. Like
Yeah, like
footy.
I was too small to play any NRL, bro. But like I would just get the ball and go down the park and just like I loved Clinton Shavosky, bro. I just wanted to be such a good goal kicker.
Bro, he was my manager.
No way.
Bro, Chalk is my manager.
I loved him.
Bro, he's one of the greatest dudes ever.
Bro, his goal kicking was 10 out of 10.
Yeah, well, he
And Hazem El Masri.
100%. Well, Chalk Clinton, I'm pretty sure he kicked the winner of the very first Origin. You know, when they went like
Yeah,
eight
yeah,
in a
yeah.
row. So
Yeah.
he was the guy who kicked the winning
Damn.
goal, and then they just went on a run after that.
So good.
There's another perfect example of like good people.
Yeah.
Like having good people around.
Yeah,
like,
bro, that's sick.
Mate, I remember like because when you're a grom or when you're a kid coming through, like usually about 13, 14, like managers will start like sniffing around players, and we caught up with a bunch. And then I remember sitting with Clinton, and it was just like such a genuine, authentic dude.
Yeah,
and he like wanted like what's best for you, and so he was my manager like throughout all the footy, like, but he wasn't really a manager; it was more like a mate. Like he would come to my 18th, came to my 21st. When I moved from Goldie to Para to play for the Eels, he was like at my going away party. And so I was just like, fuck, man, having good crew around, it's so
having
important.
Good crew around you is so important.
Man, we talk about that all the time, like with the crew that we knock around with.
Yeah.
Have you seen your friend group change over the years?
Definitely, man. And like, even at school, like I had the best mates at school. They all surfed and actually played footy. I was the only person that skated. Like, I was like the outlier. So I guess that's why we get along with the boys. Because I've always been a little jock deep down. You know? Always been around the footy bros at school.
Yeah.
But friends group definitely changes as you get older, and like I definitely learn a lot after I was sick, like who my close friends are and who isn't. You know, and like,
how'd you learn that?
Just people who like, not that they had to come see me, but like, never reached out or like. So my best mate actually from school, when I was sick, Nick, when I told him, he went home that night and I didn't talk to him for 3 weeks. And I was like trying to call him, and then he came over randomly one day. He's like, bro, I'm sorry. I just like, you're my best mate. I did not know how to deal with this. Yeah. And like, he was so rattled. He didn't talk to me for 3 weeks because he didn't know what to say. Yeah. And I was like, that's crazy that it affected him like that. Yeah. But like when I was sick, my boys were so good. Like one of my best mates, Jai, he came and just like would come sit with me in hospital when I was on the ward, and like a few times we'd be like making jokes and doing funny shit, and like my heart rate would obviously raise, and the nurse would come in like, you're right. I'm like, oh yeah, we're actually just laughing at this. So he was always good value for that. But friends group changed. Like I still hang out with like, it's good. Like all my skate mates, like Kobe, Riley, all work at Alfred's still. So I get to see them, go skate with them, and a bunch of my mates who I did skate with now play golf, because bro, you wouldn't think of it, skating and golf, the mindset is so the same. Trying to get a trick, trying to get a shot. Exactly. And it's like skating, it's like you're scared to figure out how to do this trick because you get hurt. And then in golf, if you don't commit, you fuck it up. Like skating, and then you blow your score. Yeah. Or like you hit the hosel rocket. Yeah. So it's so similar mindset. But yeah, as you said, friends group definitely changed. But like, I love the friends group we've formed in the past like 5-6 years. It's just so good, man. Yeah. Love it. And my favorite thing about it is that like everyone's doing different shit. So different, eh? How what? Like you got guys owning like restaurants, cafes, clothing brands, footy, like surfing, skate. It's like everyone's doing different shit, but everyone's so supportive. Yeah. It's insane. So good. Like everyone fits in. Yeah. And it's such a good platform. Like, you know, like Ed will put like Alfred's in, be like, can you share this? And then Costa with the boys, and then like Hutto with his wedding stuff. Can the boys get around this? And it's like just such a good platform for the boys to like all get around. And you like put the pod in, and like everyone gets around it. And then I send every NRL roast of Patrick. Paddy last night. That was fast work. That one. You were good, man. But it's like and I think back in the day, and maybe it's a bit of tall poppy syndrome, like in Australians, but it's like, it's kind of like for someone to go up, someone else needs to come down. It's like, nah, let's bring everyone up together with us. So funny you say tall poppy syndrome, bro. I actually like, you know when you're getting them like real motivated or like positive mindsets? Yeah. I just seen something on the gram, and then I put up a story, just plain black, and it said tall poppy syndrome is out. And then I deleted it because I was like, oh my God, what will people think of me saying this? But like, that's the effect it has. Yeah. Like I hate tall pop. Biggest hate, man. Yeah. Tall poppy syndrome. Fucking sucks, man. Out. Yeah. Like I want nothing more than people do good and my mates to do good. Yeah. And like, I mean, everyone's had jealous times and stuff, but as you grow older, that jealousy turns into like praise for your friends or people doing good. And like I hate when people knock someone for trying. And Ed is the best person for that mentality. Like he's so good. It's like, at least he's giving it a crack. Like who am I to write someone off if they're trying? And I learned that from Ed, like really well. Cause you know, skating's pretty cutthroat and people can be very too cool. Yeah. And I was guilty of being like that at one stage, but man, if someone's trying their best at what they like, how can you knock them down?
But it's also infectious, yeah.
It is, exactly.
It's like hanging around crew. Like that cliche of like the 5 people you hang around is more likely the person that you're going to be. Like,
exactly.
It's like it's almost infectious when people are doing cool shit. Like Hutto with his weddings, Ed with the Alfreds, like Mitchie in the country club. Like everyone just doing even training. Like guys that are training together. Like the Alfreds run, but like Legacy, like training at Legacy. Like everyone's doing cool shit. So it's like fuck. Like what's my thing?
Yeah.
You know, and everyone's different, but it's like it kind of becomes infection. It's like how can we actually help?
Yeah.
Like when you see other people helping, it's like, how, like, or we have a coffee, it's like, how can I help you?
Yeah.
Like, who can I introduce you to? Like, can I reshare a post? Can I buy you a t-shirt? Like,
well, perfect example of you saying that and then bringing up Legacy. One of the best people I've met for our friends group is Alex.
Glenn.
Yeah.
Lexi.
He is like, has one of the best mindsets and approaches towards people I've ever met.
Yeah.
And he makes you feel so good and he makes you want to bring other people up and like, yeah, him and Jerry do great things at that gym, man.
Yeah.
Like Jazz and my girlfriend, her roommate, joined that gym and they were so scared of gyms, bro. Never been to a gym and now they go and they love it so much.
So sick. We actually did a session there. I saw Jazz in there the other day. I was like, "Where's Chase?" He's just like, "Oh, you had to sleep in." You're unbelievable, mate.
I'll go at 8 that night, mate.
Yeah.
I'll always show up.
Yeah. But that's it. But like Lexi's been like that forever. So my first NRL preseason was at Bronx. And Alex was obviously in there. He was playing back row at the time. And he's always been that dude.
Yeah.
Even like back in the day where it's like you kind of had to earn your stripes before like the boys would take you in. Nah. Not with Lex. He was always just like, "What's doing? How are you?" Like just so open with everyone. Yeah. And so you can see like why the gym's going so well.
And he's actually one of the people that made me feel okay to talk about this because I think Jesse might have gave him the rundown on it.
Yeah.
And then I started hanging out with Alex a little bit. And then just times that I've met Alex and he's introduced me to people, he's kind of told them about my story.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, that was cool. And then I'm like, maybe it is something I can talk about and use for good. And he kind of made me realize it's okay to talk about it. Yeah. Which is sick. Yeah. And you as well. Like going to you's always been good, man.
Man, I'm just so appreciative of the fact that you came on today, man.
Yeah. Like it's been sick, dude.
I'm honestly like and I know it's not easy sometimes to rehash it. Like, so I'm super appreciative of you coming on, bro.
Yeah. I was pretty nervous to tell the story because I was like, I haven't like delved into it in like a long time because my people around me know I've had the chats with them. It's not often it gets brought up, but it does get brought up quite a bit, but like just random stuff. But I was like, what if I just break down? But like, if you break down, you break down.
It's fine, man.
It's all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's been so good. Thanks for having me and making me feel comfortable.
Bro, before we wrap things up, what do you reckon is the biggest learning that you've taken out of that whole experience? Is there something that stands out?
Probably the 3 biggest things is like your health is important. Like if you are 21, you are not invincible. I can tell you that much. Like you can get broken down like so quickly. So like health, time is so important. Like as same as it can just be gone in a second. Spend the time with people that you want to be around that lift you up and focus on the things that are like impacting you in a positive way. Like even if it's the littlest thing of who you're following or like what you watch, like watch the things that benefit you and like lift you up and something like that. And then, just mental health, like exercise and like checking in on people, dude.
Yeah, man.
Because even when I was sick, like people checking in on me, they're like, "How are you?" I'm like, "I'm good." Like, "How are you?" And they're like, "Oh, no, like I'm sweet. Like, look at where you're going from." I'm like, "Nah, like what's going on with you?" And then my friends would tell me, I'm like, "That's horrible." Like, they're like, "Yeah, but it's nothing compared to this." I'm like, "It's not a compare.
No.
It doesn't matter. Like, dude, I got nothing else to do but sit here and listen. And help if I can."
Hard thing, like the hardest thing you've gone through is the hardest thing you've gone through.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember when Nico Hines was talking about that when he did a bunch of like mental health stuff with the Storm. He did like a workshop in COVID.
Yeah.
No one was talking about what they were going through.
Yeah.
And then everyone started opening up and talking about the certain things.
Yeah.
Like you hear about the triple H, like the hero, hardship,
Yeah.
and the other H,
Yeah.
the other H is. But they're like some guys would come to him and be like, "Oh man, my hard thing isn't as hard as what the other person's going through."
Yeah.
It's like, man, the hardest thing you're going through is the hardest thing you're going,
yeah.
and it's still hard. Like
Yeah.
don't diminish that. You know
That's
what
what
I
Boothie
mean?
was talking about on here. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's so sick.
Yeah, it's so cool, man. And like you hear that all the time. It's just like everyone's got their shit. You know?
Yeah.
And that's why like having conversations with yourself and like people in a bunch of different industries, like each theme we talk about is different.
Yeah, exactly.
I've learned so much from you around cancer, around heart, like even the fact that you had to like learn new things again after chemo, things I had no idea about. It's such a beneficial tool. That's why I think this is so great.
Yeah, exactly. And it's crazy. And it's like, you know, I've been in remission for 9 years now, but it's the things like all the first again has taken me 9 years to realize like where it's helped me, what it's done for me. And now the realization is it can help people.
Right.
And like mental health is number one.
Yeah.
Especially right now with everything going on and screens and screen time. And like I literally deleted Facebook.
Yeah.
Because I like go on Marketplace, find good golf.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Get some good goodies on there. But every article was just negative. And I was like, this is not doing me any good.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, ignorance is bliss, but like some of it's pretty.
And consuming that, consuming that content constantly, it can't be good for you, bro.
Not at all.
And I'm conscious of the fact of when we do that in like this setting, because like it's obviously mental health. Like we're talking about a variety of different issues, but it's like what we do is like we do it by design. Like come in, we'll have a laugh.
Exactly.
We'll talk about some like topics, but they're all like beneficial things.
It's a positive space.
It's a positive space. People feel safe that they can talk about it, but it's also like the tools and tips that you take out of it. Like what we're trying to do is give people a fucking better positive life and be happier.
And you're not doing clickbait like NRL player breaks down on podcast. Like, man, you know what I mean?
If I ever do that, you slap the shit out of me,
but
man.
You know what I mean? That's the shit you see online that like, and it gets people and you go read it and it's like, this is nothing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And that's what I say to like any of the crew that come on board. It's just like, man, if you say something that's like, you don't feel comfortable talking about, like we can take it out.
And that's what you said in the sauna. Like there's stuff you're not comfortable talking about. There's stuff that people aren't comfortable talking about. 100%. But like, dude, I was all in today. It was good. It was so good.
I appreciate you so much, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
Man, I was like, I wanted to do this story justice. I remember saying to you, because it is it's a wild story, man. It's so incredible. And the fact that you just came on board, you opened up, got so much love for you, man. And I do appreciate it. So thank you, bro.
Love you. Love our mates. It's good, bro.
Love our mates, man. Cheers.